I'm very passionate about financial literacy. And the man that got me into finance, well, he didn't get me into it, but he got me on track. The man himself, Dave Ramsey, who I've had the pleasure of meeting before, released a video today. For the first time, I've kind of disagreed with him on some of his like social views here and there, his tone about certain things. But this video isn't about that. It's about something way more pragmatic, and I completely disagree with him. I'm going to tell you why. Now, check it out. Those of you guys who know me know that I made every stupid decision you could possibly make with money. Got a credit card when I was young. Ran that up, by the way. Got a credit card and discovered eBay. Started buying sneakers before being a sneakerhead was a thing. Got a brand new car with 0 miles on it. Co-signed on a condo with my mom. That condo went into foreclosure. The HOAs that she didn't pay also went into default. Took out student loans. I thought that was a good investment. I woke up. I was about 6 months to a year married, $45,000 in debt, and I didn't know what to do. I was messed up, and I remember, gosh, I keep forgetting angles. I remember my man Belief hit me, and we were going through this thing called Crown Financial at our church, kind of similar to Dave Ramsey. Belief hit me and was like, yo, have you heard of Dave Ramsey? You should download this Dave Ramsey app. And he had this app where you could ask questions. This is way back in the days, like 2010, 2009, somewhere in that ballpark. He was a newlywed himself, and he was like, you got to check out Dave Ramsey. And I was like, all right, let me check him out. And we just started listening to his podcast every day. Once we finally got locked in, me and my family me and my wife went all in, and in a matter of 18 months, we paid off $45,000 in debt just listening to his podcast every day, which is his syndicated radio show, Following the Baby Steps. Dave Ramsey, financial guru. He's given me the tools and the tips and the mindset, most importantly, to change my family tree. I'm forever grateful to the principles that he's presented and the stuff he's done. He's amazing, in my opinion. Now, there's something that we disagree on. I'm going to talk about it here in a sec. But listen, if you're watching this live, appreciate you watching this live. Give this video a thumbs up. Let me know where you're watching this from. That always helps us, regardless on what platform you are. And if you're watching a replay, it's all cool. You can still drop a comment. Let us know where you're watching this from. More importantly, make sure you're subscribed. I found out that like 70% of you guys watching this aren't subscribed. But let's keep this moving. So, baby step 1, save $1,000 emergency fund. Baby step 2, debt snowball your debts. In the middle of debt snowing about my debts, we even got sued. And following the steps from Dave Ramsey, remember that thing that went into collection, those HOAs? They came after me. They didn't go after my mom. They came after me, which is why you should never co-sign. Came after me, sued me for $5,000. I woke up, my accounts were levied. We settled that, and then in the process found out there was a second mortgage, $60,000 on my credit. I thought I was going to file for bankruptcy. Listening to Dave Ramsey, I implemented some of his steps, and I was able to negotiate that $60,000 mortgage, which was like 4 years old at the time. I got that down to $1,000 and settled for $1,000. Just following the way you're supposed to talk to debt collectors. This stuff works. Like, Dave Ramsey's amazing. Now, I've since became a full-time entrepreneur, read his book, Entree Leadership. I've met Dave. I taught probably half a dozen FPU classes at my church. We've taken hundreds of couples and helped paid off the couples collectively all together have paid off hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, saved hundreds of thousands of dollars of money, I think close to $1 million. Yeah, amazing, like amazing stuff. Love Dave Ramsey. But he had this video come out today. I'm going to react to it. And goodness, I think he's wrong. And I think I'm going to be able to prove it to you guys. So let's see. Let's see. All right. Dave Ramsey, my 12-year-old wants to invest in the Robinhood app. Now, check this out. And I don't know if he's just not informed or what happens here, but let's watch this. I'll react and then I'll explain what is Robinhood, why react. Robinhood is an app you could do investing in. It's amazing. And I invest through Robinhood. I'll explain why, but check this out.
Nancy, how are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
I would like to, some advice. My son has his money parked in a credit union. He has $100 on a CD, and he has $530 on a regular savings account. Mm-hmm. And he would like to know if I could put
So she's calling in. Her son has some cash. He's 12. Should they, should they put it in
money
Robinhood?
in a Robinhood app investing account?
No.
I want to know your advice.
No. He does not need to mess with Robinhood.
Ooh, Dave, no. Why? Ah, my man. Now watch what he says.
Dangerous as a cock gun. No, thank you. If he wants to do some investing, that's fine. But it's not about the actual results. $500 is not going to give you actual results. It's more about learning. That's fine. But it's not about the act. Thank you. If he wants to do some cock gun, no, thank you.
He said
dangerous as a cock gun. Mess with Robin Hood. Dangerous as a cock.
He said it's dangerous as a cocked gun. No, Dave, why? Now he said if you want to do some investing, you know, what is he going to say? Watch what he says about how you should invest. This part I think is kind of whack.
Results. $500 is not going to give you actual results. It's more about learning.
If $500 can get you actual results, and I'm going to tell you how. Watch this.
About the investments. And so if he wanted to do a $500 investment in some mutual funds, sit down with a SmartVestor Pro, let them teach him.
No. Sit down. What is a SmartVestor Pro? Those are the people that he gets a commission from for doing investing for them. So they have their own ELPs, they have their SmartVestor Pros. Go get with a SmartVestor Pro to open a mutual fund with load-in fees. And I don't know about this, man.
Because he's obviously interested in that kind of thing. Then you know, they would help him. And there are a few mutual funds you can open for as little as $500.
There are a few mutual funds you could open for $500. A few. Now, I'm going to explain why this is wrong and what I think he's overseeing.
And many of them are $1,000 or $2,500, but there's a couple of them you can get in for $500. But it's not because that's going to make him a lot of money. It's because it's a teaching experience for him. And he's
right. It is a teaching experience, but to say that you can't make money in the Robinhood app, Travis, you're on the right path. I'm gonna get to that. Just hang with me. But like, watch this.
He's obviously got an interest in that sort of thing. Truthfully, other than that, I would not do it. I would say $500 is a good thing to start towards his car. $500 is a good thing to start towards the insurance on the car he drives. $500.
That's all good. I don't have no problem with people saying $500. But he's 12. He's not going to drive till he's 16.
Is a good thing to start thinking about college with, those kinds of things, rather than playing around. But Robinhood's going to be single stock investing, and that's a really dumb idea.
No! Dave! It's not. It doesn't have to be single stock investing. Why? Okay, so I don't know if somebody's just on his team couldn't have told us. I don't know if he doesn't quite understand how Robinhood works. Dave, I don't do single stock investing because you told me not to. I listened to you. I don't do single stock investing. He said single stock investing in Robinhood. Now listen, Linda, listen. When I was 16, 17 years old, I had a teacher. His name is Mr. Hidalgo. I had him like freshman year and senior year. Mr. Hidalgo did a class on financial literacy. It was a history class. You could tell this dude didn't really need to teach based on the type of suits he wore, based on the kind of car he drove. He was wealthy. And what he told us, he said, if you want to be wealthy, invest half of everything you make while you're still living at home and put it into the market, into mutual funds or index funds. He said, and if you're moved out, then invest 20%. If you do that and you gamble on the market, and I don't even think it's a gamble. If you believe in the free market, if you believe in capitalism, I don't think it's a gamble. You will become wealthy. And he explained things like the law of 72. And the law of 72 goes, take whatever interest rate you're getting divided by 72, and that's how long it'll take your money to double. So what does that mean? So the market, on average, the growth stock, like overall stock market, grows between 10 to 12% a year. Okay, 10 to 12% a year. So let's just call it 10%. If you put $100 in the market in 7.2 years, remember the law of 72, you'll have $200. And then in another 7 years, you'll have $400, right? This is how wealthy people stay wealthy. They could park their money somewhere, and let's just say it's getting 10% every year. In 7.2 years, it'll double, and then it'll double again, and then it'll double again. So imagine now, scale that up. Now, so you got $100,000, you park it in the market. In 7 years, that'll be $200,000. In another 7 years, in 14 years total, that'll be $400,000, right? And so on and so forth. So the law 72. So I'm learning all this stuff, and I was so discouraged. I was so discouraged because when I wanted to invest, I couldn't get anybody to take my money because I didn't have $2,500 to just jump into a mutual fund. I didn't have it, right? And even when I saved and bought my own car cash, thankfully, one thing my mom really did help me with was, hey, you're going to work, you're going to save money. She walked with me she drove me every single time I got a check, and we deposited. She didn't let me touch any of my own money for like the first couple of years, and I saved my own money. I got myself like a $4,000 car. And this, I think if I had Robinhood right now and I was 16 years old and I was this kid, this could have literally changed my family tree because I was so late on the 8 ball about this. Now, here's why. I feel like investing can become, I guess, almost a bit of an addiction in the same way that spending recklessly and frivolously and swiping your card and buying junk becomes a habit pattern. Investing into the market, not single stocks, but investing in the market can also help you to develop the habits and the disciplines to understand how interest in money works. And this kid is 12. He's not going to have a car for 4 years. If he started now, he would do amazing. Now, how does the market work in terms of taxes? Growth stock mutual funds, I can't do that. I don't have $2,500 to jump into a growth stock mutual fund. But what you can do is you can get this thing called an index fund. Now, I've jumped into Robinhood. I've looked at all the index funds. I'll show you the ones I'm investing in. And my index funds right now, since February, are getting between 18 to 20%. Right now, I was being conservative. I said it was growing at 10%. I'm getting around 20%. Now, some years maybe that'll be lower, some years will be higher, but 20% is what I'm getting in the market right now. That's crazy. And what an index fund is, it's like a mutual fund. It's a bunch of funds that you could buy out direct. You could buy everything on the S&P 500. You could buy everything on the Dow Jones. You could buy a Vanguard mutual index fund. It's like a mutual fund, right? So a bunch of why is Dave Ramsey against single stock investing, which is why I agree with him, is because say you are just investing in Tesla. And then say Elon Musk has a big scandal and you find out he was with Epstein, just hypothetically, God forbid, right? Tesla is going to tank, right? Tesla is going to tank. Some of the other stuff he's going to do is going to tank. So you don't want to be invested in single stocks because just like Enron in the early 2000s, if you have all your money in single stocks and that company goes under, you're done. You're dead in the water. And people lost their entire savings and everything, right? So what you do is you put in a mutual fund or an index fund. This is what I do. Index fund, my favorite index fund. You guys always ask me, what am I investing in? My favorite index fund, QQQ. It's the tech stuff on the Dow Jones. Tesla is in that index fund. Tesla is growing a lot, but I believe in Tesla and I believe in Amazon, all these different companies. I'm too risk averse. I invest, my risk goes into my business, my real bit, like my business is where I got more risk. I'm not trying to be running around here, day trading on Robinhood. There's some people that do that. I think like Derek Miner does that. Shout out to him. My risk is like, I'm trying to build companies. I'm trying to build businesses. There's too much. That's why I don't do real estate, right? I ain't got the time to be, dealing with people who live there, tenants, and them moving out. And I got a buddy that does that. And he flips houses and he has like 15 properties. I ain't got no time for that, man. I'm too risk averse. So let me show you guys what I'm investing in. And shout out to Berg on the beat. Berg is an actually trained Robinhood investor. I know him in real life. He said, I think Robinhood can be dangerous for people who don't understand buying put options. You're totally right. Don't invest in single stocks. Invest conservatively and be aware of the taxes. How do taxes work in Robinhood? If you pull out money and it hasn't sat there for a year, that money gets taxed like income. That's not good. Why? Because most of us are paying 20 to 30% income taxes, right? So say I put $1,000 in, say it grew to $1,200, and then I need to pull that money out. I'm going to have to pay income taxes on that $200, about 30%, right? Give or take. Now, if I wait longer than a year, I could pay capital gains taxes. That's about 15%, depending on how much you make. Capital gains is better. So my money in Robinhood is parked to the side and I don't touch it. But this is the dope part about Robinhood is if you did need it out, if I really needed it out and I was willing to take that L on the taxes, right? Again, I say I made 100, $200. I could take that L. I can get that money out in 7 days. So for me, it is kind of like another emergency fund, except it's actually acquiring interest and growing rather fast. So I'll show you guys how you could do this on Robinhood. And again, can it be dangerous? Yes. Is he wrong about this? Yes. So here I am on Robinhood. Here are all my stocks. If you look, these are all ETFs, right? And you can go and kind of do them. And here's my favorite one. It's QQQQQ. I got 3 shares of this, right? And this is my favorite one. Now I'll show you how I find stocks. So you're on Robinhood, you're logged in. Here are all the things. Now most people make the mistakes. They're gonna go and they're gonna go, ooh, what are the top 100 popular ones? Ooh, what is crypto, right? And it just, don't do that stuff. Just go right over here. This is nice and safe index ETFs. Boom. Now I am not a financial advisor, so you are getting what you paid for. This is just what I do. This is my opinion, okay? Check it out. Here are all the index funds. Vanguard, S&P 500. This is the S&P 500 over the course of all the companies through Vanguard and S&P 500, right? All the different ones. Now, how do you pick them? I just started going and looking at it. So I click on Vanguard and check out this cool little graph. Now, this is like, what is all this, right? So this is what a share costs. Now, the reason why Vanguard is dope is the reason why Robinhood is dope is now you can buy them by the dollar. So say you are a kid and you got $100. You can literally go here and say, hey man, I got $100 and I just want $100. And you get a third of a share of this Vanguard S&P 500. Again, S&P 500, you're banking on capitalism here. You're banking on the market, right? Now, watch this. This is cool. Check this out. You click on, this is what it did today. So the market's been taking a hit today. This is what it did in the last week. This is what it did in the last month. So it grew by 5% in the last month. That's really good, guys. This is what it did in the last 3 months, 12%. And this is the number I look at because I'm long term. So the Vanguard grew by 50%. 50% over the past 5 years. That's about, what is that? About 10% return, right? Now, again, I'll show you guys my favorite one is QQQ. This is my favorite one. Power Shares QQQ. Check this out. This is crazy. You guys ready for this? Watch this. Watch this. 5 years. Dang, Gina! 124%? That's pretty amazing. 124% over the past 5 years, guys. This has a little bit of Tesla. This has a bunch of different things in here. I'm buying as much QQQ as I can. I don't time the market. I don't do a bunch of goofy stuff. I just park my money here. And if I need to pull it out, which I don't plan on pulling it out, I'm really using this as like another savings fund, I could pull it out. And I'm going to start one of these for my son eventually. This is where I'm parking my money. And it gives you like the breakdown of it. So QQQ, that's my favorite one. You're talking about 124%. 124%. Divide that. Let's divide that. 124%. We're going to divide that by 5 years. So 124 divided by 5. On average, I'm getting 25% on my money by just parking it there. I'm just going to let it sit. Right? And so what do? And remember, you could only, if you have $100, you can get started with $100. You can buy whatever, this $255 a share. You can buy a third of a share or whatever, 0.28 of a share, right? This is amazing, guys. If I had this when I was a kid, I promise you I'd be in a totally different space right now. My life would be completely different. And so I think that kid should be investing in Robinhood, not in single stocks. I think he should be. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Berg. Again, Berg is an official Dave Ramsey guy. He's my friend in real life too. But he said, I met several SmartVestor pros and they've all wanted to do things different than what Dave recommends for anyone who would want to use them. That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, listen, obviously they're not going to do things, but I am 90% sure, Berg, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, that those SmartVestor pros do make a commission. So I don't understand. I mean, I guess I do understand because he has some skin in the game. But I'm saying, listen, Robinhood is direct. They're probably making a percentage on some of this stuff. But why am I going to go to an investor pro who's going to tell me I need to wait until I have $2,500 and then start a Roth IRA, which you should, like if you're thinking long-term investing, when I could park my money in the Robinhood app right now and on average get 25% in the QQQ, 25% a year. So now let's do the math. Okay? Say you have $100,000. Say you've hustled, you have $100,000, right? Boom. You're getting 25% on your money in $100,000. The rule of 72 says that if you invest, it's however many times you can divide that interest rate by 72, the money will double. So $100,000 divided by 25% divided by 72, 25, 50, we'll just say 3 years. We'll just round it up. Hopefully you guys are following me. Look up the rule of 72. That means if I have $100,000 on average in less than 3 years, that $100,000 will become $200,000. That's crazy. In another 3 years, that $200,000 will become $400,000. We're talking averages. We're talking over the long scheme, right? That's pretty amazing. This is how wealthy people stay wealthy, because there's also this thing called the law of 200. Figure out how much money you need to make a month to live comfortably, right? Times that by 200. If you need $10,000 to live comfortably, times that by 200, that's $2 million. How do you get to $2 million? Once you get to $2 million and you can draw from that, you're literally living off of the interest, right? You're living off of the interest. If you get started sooner, like before you're my age, you could kill it. Now, here's the caveat to all this. Dave Ramsey's right. Get your butt out of debt, fam. Get out of debt. Debt is dumb. Scriptures don't encourage it. It's not a good look. Besides a home mortgage, there's no such thing as good debt. Get out of debt. I'm completely with Dave Ramsey there. I still believe his principles. I still recommend his baby steps. If you look at any video I've uploaded in the last month, you know what's in the videos is a get debt free following Dave Ramsey's baby steps video. And every description I put out, and right underneath that is sign up for Robinhood. Don't sign up for Robinhood if you're not debt free. Get your finances cleaned up. Get debt free. I promise you, you're going to feel much better about it. And I think it's huge to just have clean finances. Clean that up, man. And again, I paid out $45,000 in 18 months. My life changed. I'm so grateful for the principles that I learned from Dave Ramsey. But if they had Robinhood back then, probably they did, but I wish that I would have gotten onto this investing, because the least amount of work that you can do to be a good investor, the better. Meaning, if you have to go and call this person and set up a meeting and then have $2,500 and do this and do that, all that is going to make it harder and harder. It's like if you live 2 hours away from your gym, you're not going to go to the gym. But if you could create a little gym where there's a gym down the street and you can get there and it's a part of your routine, it's going to be easier and easier and easier for you to keep getting to the gym. I think investing is the same way. I could do it right on my phone. I don't need to talk to anybody. I don't need to set up a meeting. I don't need a huge lump sum. I literally started investing in February and I've made, again, about 23%. That's what I'm getting in the market right now. You know what I'm saying? You could set up Robinhood to do monthly payments. You can set up Robinhood to say whenever, I could park $1,000 out of my account into Robinhood, and whatever this QQQ thing drops under 250, it'll automatically buy it, right? Buy some shares. Guys, Robinhood and these types of tools is going to empower a lot of young people to get in the game sooner, to become wealthier sooner, and to completely change their family tree. And I think now more than ever, considering the climate that we're in, considering how fast the wealth gap is growing, we need these things. We need these tools. And in Dave Ramsey's world, he's thinking long term. He's thinking, yeah, man, when you're 65, you could be a millionaire. I'm thinking if you're 18 and you start right now, you could be a millionaire when you're 35. I don't want to be a millionaire. I mean, I do want to be a millionaire at 65. I want to be a millionaire at 45. Like, I'm 35 now. I want to be a millionaire at 45, right? So anyway, this is my opinion. I am not a financial wizard. Dave Ramsey's probably way smarter than me, but I think on this, I think what it is he's assuming Robinhood is single stock investing. I think that's what he's assuming. I don't do any single stock investing. I don't recommend it. Robinhood for me is I'm parking it there for at least a year. Remember, I'm debt free. I have an emergency fund, a cash emergency fund. I park it there for at least a year, and I'm really using this money to let it grow, so it's not sitting in my account. And that way, I'm trying to save a down payment for a home. Basically, I live in Southern California. I'm gonna need like $150,000 to buy a home in Southern California. That's a lot of money, right? To buy a $600,000 home, 20% down. Dave Ramsey principle, put 20% down. Hopefully a 15-year mortgage. I need about $150,000. That's a lot of money. That money's not just gonna come from sitting in a savings account collecting no interest. I could park it here, and a couple years, a year or two, I could take that, that 5, it'll turn into 10, it'll turn into 20, and before you know it, I'll just keep pouring money into it. So this is my opinion. Appreciate you guys. And I'm with you. I think if you are smart, I don't think you need to hire a financial advisor, but I do think having coaches and people in your corner are helpful, right? For me, I'm a nerd. I like information. I like seeking things out. I'll go and I'll research and I'll figure it out, right? But for other people, sometimes hiring somebody can get you to the process quicker. You know what I mean? Shout out to Bergen BD said, however, you don't need to hire a contractor to build a house either. It just depends on if you want someone other than yourself to manage. That's a great metaphor. Don't be afraid to pay for coaching and get resources and all that kind of stuff. However, there are things like Robinhood that you can do and learn, right? So anyway, man, I think this video is very important, not because it's me disagreeing with Dave Ramsey, because I think if you are under 25 and you're not in debt and you do what I'm telling you to do, you're going to be very freaking wealthy, okay? And considering America doesn't crash and we don't all become communist and socialist, which I don't see that happening. But I think if you do these things and you bet on the market and in America, this is what investing in the market is, you're going to be very, very, very wealthy. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Appreciate y'all. Fan Love Friday coming up.